And good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is, let's see here, is my audio working? Yeah, it should be. Hope everyone's having a good day, and I hope your week has gotten off to a great start. I'm running a little bit behind this morning. I apologize for that. I forgot to run a deal that keeps the frames from dropping so bad, but oh well. Hopefully it'll level out here in a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys for logging on. If you are new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. And let's see here. I'm going to get rid of that for a second. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I apologize for running a little of a crazy morning. Had a little trouble getting the kids around and all that type of thing. That I'm sure it almost looks like I just lost my feed. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, well, it seems to be back now. That's weird. This is doing all kinds of weird things this morning. I didn't have the time to put in the setup that I usually do, so maybe I forgot something or something. I don't know. But we'll get right down to the point. To the point of it, if you are new to Huygens Runes, thank you for logging on and checking us out. If you are one of the old standbys, thank you for sticking with us and checking us out again. Chime in on the chat and let me know that you're watching. Well, other than that, I'm just going to get right into it and throw the runes, and we'll see what they have to say. I'll switch the angle up here a little bit. And there we go. Alright, I know these camera angles aren't the greatest. I'm working on a better setup, but that might be a little while. Good morning to you too, Ricky. Alright, here we go. Oh, one's already jumping out. Okay, here we go. Alright. So this one jumped out of my hand before I even started. And we got Perthra over here, we got Othala and Ingwas off of the cloth over here. I'm going to try to get these over here where they can be seen somewhat. I'm going to leave that one there because, and this one over here, I don't know if you can see this because of the chat, but we also got a couple over here. Alright, so just to look and see here what we've got going on. I guess I'll get the microphone back over here so you can hear me better. The first thing that jumped out of my hand before I even threw the cast was Nautis here, and so we're definitely going to be talking about you folks out there that are feeling deep-seated primal needs this morning. And when I say that, I'm not talking about something one of my pet peeves is all of these words and phrases that have lost their meanings over time because they get overused, or people don't are conditioned to a point of not taking them seriously. So when I say a deep-seated primal need, this goes beyond the need to get off your butt and fix a PB&J because you're hungry. This goes down into the depth of your soul kind of need, something that it's almost like a fire. In fact, literally the kind of the history behind that rune indicates a fire burning deep down inside. This is a need that you're experiencing, and it goes beyond even if it directly relates to material things, it goes way beyond material things. So bear that in mind as we kind of walk through this, because that's kind of the whole motivating factor behind all of this. So there's a big indicator here that a lot of you folks that are experiencing this right now, there's a big indicator here that a lot of you folks that are experiencing this right now, and I think this is fairly widespread. I don't think this boils down to just one or two individuals watching this. There's a lot of this deep-seated primal need going around right now, and it varies. What it exactly is dealing with varies from person to person. But right now, a lot of the folks that are really, this is overwhelming them right now. This is it has to do because you're at a crossroads, and now a crossroads often has kind of a negative connotation because of pop culture, but the thing about the crossroads is really and truly it's a place where energies come together. Number one, it's also a place where decisions are to be made. Number two, and this is the indication here is that a lot of the folks that this is specifically talking to, these decisions are centered around choices about like family and that type of thing, as well as like provision for family, protection of family, welfare of family, that type of thing. But there's also the need on top of that to have a balance in your own life, because these things, even what we have to make the decisions that are best for our family and best for the people that we love. But we also have to. That stupid cord's right up there in the way. I'll work on that later. But we also have to. We have to strike some sort of a balance in our own life, because that you can't go after all of those other needs without having a what's the word I'm looking for? You can't go after all of those other needs without having a balance, which indicates a firm foundation and a firm footing for you to stand on. Because if you're in the middle of this tug of war, providing for your family or making things better for your family, but you're in the middle of a sand pit, that's going to be a totally different story than if you are on if you're in the middle of this tug of war in a place with good solid ground where you can get solid footing and not just be drug everywhere by the opposing forces. And that's a lot of what we're talking about is this fight against the opposing forces that are confronting us. Because traditional or contemporary, not traditional, contemporary, the contemporary mindset is that everyone has to fit in this mold, but that's I think that's going by the wayside, and I think that's part of what's going on this year with all the craziness and everything. Because this year, if nothing else, this year is forcing us to step back and take a look at how things can be done differently. Because what was happening isn't working. So, bearing that in mind. Some of the ideas that are being challenged here, and that's what these runes that are falling back here, close or off of the border of the black cloth, are dealing with. Over here we have Othala, which this is going to be challenging your ideas of provision and family and heritage, but also of property and ownership of things. But we may be, that maybe some of you folks having difficulty. Or struggling with the ideas of how to come across a place to put down roots or something like that, and you may have some struggles or challenges in that area. And this is just off the top of my head. I'm just kind of speaking from my gut here. If it doesn't exactly match up with your situation, think about it in terms of your situation and see how it does fit, because that the runes fell this way for a reason. So there's it's saying to. Well, okay, so we kind of went through Othala there, and next around we have Hagalaz, and Hagalaz indicates storms and confrontations and difficulties and that type of thing. So that's saying, this is going to challenge your idea of taking a new perspective when you're confronted by a storm. Because there are, even though we here in this country, we live in a society which, by and large, has more empowerment for its people available. The vast majority of people don't know how to reach or get a hold of or utilize that empowerment. And there's not a lot of resources available to teach us these things. So it is really easy for when you come up against, and especially in the culture of instant gratification, when you come up against a challenge that makes your walk or your path or your journey somewhat difficult, it's really easy to get into the mindset of, well, shit. That must not be it because this is too hard. Well, that's not always the way it works. Those challenges are often put in your path for a reason, to make sure that you are using your mind to the vast majority of the time, if you really think about something and really focus on a situation or a challenge, there is a way to turn that challenge into an opportunity, to turn an obstacle into an opportunity. So there, you have to. This is, aside from the obvious references, that you hear all about 2020 being the year of vision, and I thought that was, when I first heard about that, I thought that was just kind of a cheesy, obvious reference. But the more related to 2020 vision, that type of thing, and I thought it was just kind of cheesy myself. But the more I've experienced this year, and the more we move through this year, I find it fitting, because it is challenging us to take a new perspective, to learn a new perspective, to look at things in a different light, from a different angle, to step back and get the bigger picture. Because that's the only way. We've turned into a culture that has such blinders on. We can only see straight in front of us, and even then for only a limited distance. We have so much information available to us now that it is almost, the fact that information is so easily and readily available has almost, I think, blinded us down to the idea that, nothing should require any work or effort, and it's just not that way. We still have to put the work and the effort into things that we want to do and things that we want to accomplish. So, bear that in mind when you hit an obstacle, a challenge, a storm in your life or in your path. Look at it from a different perspective and see if you can find a way to turn that obstacle into an opportunity, because I'm betting you can. There's almost always a way to do that. So just bear that in mind. And then next around here kind of goes into detail about how to do that. And this is Ansu's. This is where, as a quote-unquote spiritual guru, this is where I get into the spirituality of things, because no matter what it is that you believe in on the other side, there are resources on the other side that we can utilize, and we can seek the guidance from them, and however it is that they speak to you that you can understand, and you got to figure that out on your own. I can't tell you. I know how they speak to me, but that's just me. But however it is that they speak to you, from the other side, they're offering wisdom, they're offering guidance, they're offering a way for you to take advantage of what they can see from outside of our timeline. They have a wealth of wisdom that we don't have. And then, over here on the other side, this is Perthro. Now, Perthro, that was all the ones that actually landed on the border of the cloth, which is real significant. But now we'll deal with the two that are actually off of the black cloth. Over here, that's kind of obscured by the chat window there. I'll see if I can silence that chat window for just a second so you can see this a little better. I got to get to the right scene first. There we are. All right. So it's over here, and it was actually out further off of the cloth. I just moved it in a little bit so that it was there and didn't get forgotten. But this is Perthro. Now, Perthro deals with the magical and the unknown. And Ingwaz over here deals with pure creative energy. Thank you, Ricky. You have a great day, buddy. So, another thing that Perthro deals with is risk-taking and anything in life that's basically a gamble, which is pretty much everything nowadays. Let's just be honest about that. But especially when you're facing choices where you can't see far down the road of how the choice is going to turn out. that can be incredibly scary, and it can be incredibly intimidating. But I'm here to say, when you're standing at that crossroads trying to make that choice, you have to, that this is where you need to pay attention to the messages coming to you from the other side. And a lot of times that just comes as a tiny little gut feeling, that just kind of, one of the tests that I put things to when I'm not necessarily trying to make a decision intuitively, I'll look at the choices, and then I will just, if I'm having a hard time with the choice, I'll just make a choice. I'll eeny, meeny, miny, moe, or flip a coin, or whatever the case may be. I'll just make a choice, and then I'll look at that choice and I'll examine it, and then I'll look at myself, and I'll say, okay, when I made that choice, was I disappointed that one of the others didn't come up? Was there another check in my gut, as I came near to committing to that? Or, whatever the case may be. Examine your own feelings, and that can help you narrow down your choices and show where your gut is actually leading you, because I guarantee 9 times out of 10, your gut choice, your gut instinct is going to be the right choice. But you have to make that choice and commit to it. And that is the difficult part. That's the scary part, is the actual commitment, making a choice and committing to it. What kind of time I got here? Of course, I was running behind to start with. So making that choice and committing to it, and then looking at your situations creatively across the board, whatever the obstacles are that come up, whatever your choices are dealing with property and family, whatever your choices are, or not whatever your choices are, but how it is that you receive information and guidance from the other side of the veil. That is where the creativity comes in, because what worked and what happened for Jane Doe and Joe Blow down the street may not necessarily, and probably won't, work for you. You're going to have to come up with your own way. You're going to have to come up with your own methods. Now you don't always have to completely reinvent the wheel, but it may be taking, a proven method that worked for someone else and tweaking it specifically for your situation. But you got to do your research, your learning, your preparation to make that adjustment so that it will work for you. And then if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean give up. It just means, okay, back up, let's try something different. How can I get, what's another way I can get to there from where I'm at? Because that's the ultimate goal. The other thing about the crossroads here, and this always kind of gets people to laugh, but it's really a serious point, is that the crossroads, it's still a road. While it's a place of choice and a place of decision, it's still a road, and you need to make a decision and commit to it and move on, because if you stand in a road too long, you will get run over. Okay? So that crossroads, it's a place, it's often been looked at in some of the darker arts and stuff as a place of invocation and commitment and stuff like that. And that even in my translation of what I'm talking about this morning, it still remains that this is a place of commitment, because this is a place where you need to make a decision, move, because if you don't make that commitment and then follow through with it, you're going to get run over because you're standing in the middle of a road. So, but this, all of this starts down here with this basic, deep level, deep-seated internal fiery primal need that you're experiencing. And this may have to do with well, good morning, beautiful. My lovely wife, Stephanie, just chimed in on the chat. So, but this has to do with this. What it may have to do with something as large and dramatic as a move or a relocation or a business endeavor, or it may have something more to do with something just as simple as a simple lifestyle change. But whatever it is, it's a deep down seated, hardcore, fiery, primal need deep down in your gut. And that's where all of this is beginning to originate from. The thing about this is that nowadays we have a tendency to cover that shit up. We have a tendency to just, nothing really needs to happen and, just kind of blow it off and throw it away or cover it up. But that's not really the healthiest way to approach these things, because they... to cover these things up, that's denying that part of you, and it's gonna rob you of that energy, that experience, that opportunity for growth. Well, that's weird. I don't know what's up with that, but I just lost the chat. It just completely reset. Anyway, I am going to, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this and got something from it today. If you did, consider doing me a favor. Give the page a like, give the video a like, follow, subscribe if you're on YouTube or Twitch, and help us get the word out about consider sharing this, because there may be other people out there that need to hear this, so that need to see this. I hope it resonates with you, and I will. I will talk to you guys later. I've got to get off of here because I've got 2 more shows to do back to back here, and I'm running late for all of them. So thank you so much for watching, and like I said, please consider giving it a like, a share, subscribe, notifications, the whole 9 yards. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.